Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, Empowered Soul Network team. Well, we're wrapping up the day, wrapping up the week with an incredible interview. I'm excited to hear about this because the creativity that I believe our guest is going to be talking about, I know I always want to unleash that more. So I'm happy to introduce to you today Dina Fortune. She is a soul expression activator. I love that, and an intuitive divine art creatrix. So, wow. Dina, welcome to Empowered Soul Network.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and grateful to be here. Thank you.
So, tell us, we're going to talk about your journey and how you got to this place of creativity and so on. But first of all, just tell us in general, what is soul expression activation?
Okay. So, on the premise that we're all souls living in a human expression and are living in a human body, we have a way of a vibration that we can communicate at a soul level that is a higher frequency and most times than our normal human expression, right? And it's called soul language or language of light. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And so, yeah, okay. So you probably
And
interviewed other soul language, light language practitioners, speakers. And so, what so along my path I discovered light language and that much of the language of light that I speak is the soul, my soul frequency, and coming from my soul rather than other beings that I'm channeling. So it's that soul expression. It can come through, singing, speaking, writing, however it is that our soul wants to express through us.
wow, that's beautiful. So, what inspired you to begin to embrace that and capture and express that energy for people?
So I've been always painting, creating since I was a little child, dancing, and expression has always been a thing for me. And in my later years, being a very sensitive child, like being able to express myself in English words was always a challenge. So, being that said, uh, a lot of times very misunderstood. And so, uh, and so when I reached a point when I realized I was having certain patterns and a lot of discord with certain people in my life, I started to turn back to art. Art has always been an expression for me to process, to alchemize, to transmute, and whether I knew it or not. And so when I was around 2019, after taking a long period of time away from painting, I was re-inspired to paint for the intention of healing, for
Hmm.
not only healing myself, but also with the desire, intention of teaching others that they can work with art in a healing way. And then once that intention was verbalized, written, expressed, it's like the universe was like, here you go. And so I started painting so completely different and with more intention, and it just kind of took off from there.
Wow. So when you are in the midst of creating, are those are things you've done? Yeah, I love them. Those are gorgeous.
Thank
Just
you.
love all those kind of things. When you are in the midst of one of those creations and you get done, what what does it feel like? What happens to you, soul? What does the soul experience when you get done with one of those and you step back and you look at it?
It's it's a great question because I think I'm so busy. Like a lot of times I just sit there and I'm like, wow, like what's that about? What's going on there? Sometimes I know, okay, so this is a portal and this is a code for this and this and that. And a lot of times it's just like a lot of joy, a lot
Mhm.
of like, wow, that just came through me. Like, what's the story? And so a lot of times I'll wind up singing. I'll wind up singing in the expression of it. So I feel a lot of different things that I don't even know if I can put in words, but a lot of joy I would feel like it's like,
There's a release there, isn't there? It's like a expression, expansion.
and it takes a lot. Some of these paintings, I think that they're done, and then I wind up months later being like, oh, and then I'll go back in and I'll add more and I'll add another layer. And sometimes it's like a really quick painting that just, it's like an hour, 2 hours, and I share it on Facebook and someone buys it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that was for me. That was not for me. So a lot of the paintings are not even for me. They're source, mother god, father god, Sophia, dragons. They're my higher self just coming through me. And
Mm.
I'm the one with the physical hands that can paint.
Wow, wow. So before you got into this, you're talking a little bit about what happened, what you were experiencing in school. As you got older and into adulthood, what kinds of things were you experiencing that before you started to feel that you could express this way and it was good, it was okay to do that? What was going on in here before?
So I was still experiencing a lot of bullying.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, why am I still going through these patterns where I'm not feeling loved or heard or seen? I was just really feeling, although there were some parts of my life with certain people that I was, there's a lot of angst of like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, and I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but it was like I still kept finding myself in jobs that were really challenging. So I found myself taking a lot of things personally
Mm, mm.
and really, I feel like feeling a lot of emotions. And I didn't know what the word empath was yet. I didn't know, like, so I started to question things when I noticed how unhappy I was. I
Okay.
was feeling a lot of unhappiness and discontent and dissatisfaction with my life as it was. And I also I had taken a long period of time off from painting. So chasing money and just trying to make money
Hmm.
and trying to be of service and trying to find myself. So it was like it was like, oh, and so it was kind of a lot. And then discovering it eventually led me to discovering about metaphysics and all the things, law of attraction, all that energy.
So can you remember back when your those feelings were happening and you suddenly you found that you were expressing and that maybe you went to an art I see in New York sometimes these places where people go and they paint, so it's a studio and everybody can come buy into to that, right? And whatever you did, can you remember that first moment where suddenly you could feel the unhappiness shift and the things suddenly started to change? Was there a particular point where you
A
noticed
final
that at all?
moment.
A
You know
particular, yeah.
I started to paint butterflies. I started to paint masks.
I'm
And
getting
make
goosebumps while you're talking, so there must be something there.
There was something there, and something really synchronistic happened because this was right after I set the intention that I was gonna paint to heal. And the paintings were so much lighter and so like vibrant. And I was like, ooh, like I really want to do more of this. And I was really, really excited. And I was then starting to attract really great things into my life. And so it was like I was seeing it in my life, like the lateness was happening. I and when I started to paint the dragon energy, then it was like really noticeable. So, uh, and it's just like it's hard to describe because I like a lot of these memories are just so like,
Sure, sure.
and I appreciate you like bringing up these memories, but I do remember like setting up my studio and like starting to paint these butterflies and just receiving a lot of freshness and inspiration and oh my God, I just want to paint butterflies and just like and masks and let's do this and all these wonderful things started happening from then.
Kind of floodgates kind of open, right?
Yeah. Yep. I actually wound up being invited to create the masks for a fundraiser that I happened to be friendly with one of the women organizing a fundraiser for NAMI years ago. And they were looking for someone to design masks with a butterfly theme. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm painting butterflies. I'm painting masks. Oh my God. I'd love to be a part of this and do it. And that turned into me creating a workshop to teach others how to make the butterfly masks. And it was like a huge turnout. And that was like the beginning of me seeing like just by people being in my others being in my presence of this like creative activation of like possibility. But I didn't see it at the time, but it was like more like seeing that in reflection, like, oh, you know.
And then you start to be able to have the business side of that, maybe being able to support yourself a little bit from all this work, right? Just from that dream of I just want to paint and help heal myself, and then suddenly people want to know how to do what you do, is right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on the being full time with this.
Huh.
So, however, you know, things have really expanded and a lot of opportunities have opened up for me to teach intuitive art classes. And I do that a lot online and sometimes in person. And so, yeah, so it's been part of the business, the core of my business is offering these intuitive, expansive, creative experiences, you know, to teach others like just just tune in and to connect with their soul, to allow their beingness to paint through them, like getting out of their head.
I had a good friend of mine who's an artist, and I was showing him a drawing I did, and he stepped back and he says, "Paul, if you really want to get into painting and drawing, I want you to take a big 4-inch brush and a big can of paint, and I want you to go out there and just slather that barn wall. Just let go, completely let it. I needed to come out. I needed to let go. Stop trying. What is a tip? So the reason why I'm bringing that up is what are a couple tips that you could say for people to start allowing that intuitive expression to come out? Maybe they're by themselves, or what are a couple starting points, Dina?
I find that putting on some music that really excites you, starting with letting go of trying to create anything. Just just start even with a circle. Like it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It could just be taking something, putting it down and tracing it with a pencil and just starting with a series of circles and just playing. Just remembering like to just let go and have fun. And I really feel like it's just like pretending like you're a kid that doesn't care.
I was going to say, it's almost like letting that childlike part come back out again, isn't it?
Yeah.
What have you
Yeah.
seen people, what have you seen people, what happens to people when they do that? What have you seen in people when that happens?
It's like amazing. People really light up and are like, "Oh my gosh." Like it's like a switch. And then they wind up painting something that they really didn't think that they had it in them to paint and or draw. And they wind up having fun and giggling and just really then appreciating what they created, and they feel a lot lighter. They feel a lot more peaceful. And because it's really not about the painting as much as it is about letting go.
Right, right. Have you seen, we talked about the mental healing and the emotional healing that you went through. Have you actually seen, or how have you seen this expression and letting that come out actually affect their bodies, their environments, their relationships? How's that kind of, have you seen that kind of healing? And how's that manifested?
I'm like thinking about some of the people that have bought like my art.
Yeah.
Well, there's the people that have bought my art that I've seen them like really grow with their own art. It's like there's a permission slip.
Mm,
It's like this energetic permission slip for them to be themselves. And
mm,
I've seen that with a friend of mine where I did like a one-on-one, and I've seen her like really expand with her paintings and just like, I mean, I'm seeing her artwork expand and just open up and just be like really amazing, and just her being more free in her expression. Because I'm noticing, I'm watching them, and one of my friends, her intuition really turned on a lot more since she took my one of my the dragon classes. So it's like they're receiving energetic support by letting go and allowing their inner spirit and their guides to paint through them. And then but I would love to go back to all of the people that have taken the classes with me and ask them these questions, because they're really great questions. But I have personally seen one of my friends that I've stayed in contact with since the very first dragon class that she took with me, uh, where I did intuitive activations, and then they painted, and I just allowed them the space to paint. Her paintings have really turned around. Her mindset is really improved. She's been doing a lot of inner work. So she's become more like in her body. And I think it's just different. And they could also be doing things with other people, that this is just one piece that,
sure. Yeah, I mean that's incredible. I mean they know that kids do better in math if they also have art class, right? Because there's and better in music. They have music, they do better in math. And do you remember that story about that senator that got shot, Gabby Gifford? She got shot in the head. It was a terrorist kind of thing. And in her therapy, she couldn't speak words, but she could sing the exact same words because music transferred the hemispheres. That's why I asked that question, because there's such healing capacity. I think that I hear you talking about that if people let go and just create something, just do something, I mean, miracles happen, right?
yeah. I do have a friend that actually we did a videotaping of her painting, and then a video of her talking about how she felt after. And the it's a sense of freedom. It's a sense
Mm,
of release, a sense of like, oh, I can do this. Like there's this certain empowerment. And I feel another level of self-love, of being able to see what expression is coming out of them. So, and I feel like a lot of like excitement and joy. that they got to have that time for themselves to just and then the surprise of like, oh wow, I had no idea I could paint like this. Like it's really wild. And they're like, it's fun. It's fun to see that. And with the paintings, I've heard stories of like I've one, I'll just pick one story of a friend that she asked me to do a painting where in which I channel Archangel Michael. So I set the intention to paint and I called in Archangel Michael to do this painting, this code painting, this energetic painting for my friend Catherine, who's a healer as well. And I did it. I sent it to her. She loved it. She started doing videos with that painting and holding it. And she would talk about the energies and the frequencies that were coming through the painting for the people that she was serving in that live. And it was like the paintings are like portals in which the celestials can transmit energy through. So, I mean, can't make that
Good.
stuff up.
You
And
can-
I didn't know, until she started doing these videos, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And she would tell me how like the paint would move on the painting and it would change. So anyway, so it's a multi-dimensional things happening.
Right, right. Well, there we go. I mean,
Multiple.
this interview has been a piece of art. I was getting goosebumps and chills while you were talking, and can resonate a lot with all of what you were saying there. So you have a couple of things that, first of all, how can people get in touch with you? And then hold up that book that you were showing me earlier too, so we can show people that. Oh, there
So
you go.
transformation, oh my God, transformation through the art of words and codes. And this is a collaboration with two soul sisters. And that we wound up meeting in a very synchronicistical, magical way. But this book has channeled messages and 14 channeled messages that were channeled by Rochelle in
Mhm.
2019. And while she was painting, and I didn't even know her yet, I was creating a whole bunch of artwork. And then and all three of us took the same light language activator course. And I met Lily through that. Lily met Rochelle through that. And I met Rochelle through another Zoom call. And it's like we talk about the story of how we met and all came together in here. This is now on Amazon. It's on my link tree. Um, and my link tree is Soli Dina,
Okay.
SOULYDINA. And you can find, that's like my website,
Okay.
right now. And where you can get all my links and even subscribe to my email list.
Oh, beautiful. And make sure you put that in the comments down underneath the video as
I will.
we get done. Wow, wow. Any final brush strokes for us this afternoon?
Oh, brushstrokes are so funny. I want to share. So I do offer private sessions, and I
Okay.
also have a Facebook group called Bringing the Dragons Home, and we're actually having a ceremony tonight. It's all complimentary. We call in dragon energy, we call in our dragon aspects, and we honor them and do a creative practice. And so, for any of you that resonate with dragon energy, please find Bringing the Dragons Home. And this is a code painting that I did for abundance and bliss. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to share that with you. I was just finishing that the other night. And
Beautiful.
so I do uh, personalized higher self paintings and, just definitely, I would say people can contact me through the Soli Dina Instagram, all that is on the link tree.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow, what a way to wrap up the day for, getting prepared for a great weekend. Thank you so much, Dina. This was just awesome. And just look behind Dina. There's that creativity right there. So please get in touch with her and let her know how she can help you with your creative expression. Unleash that creative part. Thank you,
Yes,
Dina. Stick around
thank
for just a
you.
moment as we wrap up and we'll chat some more. Have a great day. It's Empowered Soul Network, everybody. It's going to be a good week next week. Keep staying tuned, watching the videos. Let us know what you think. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you, Dina.